guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are in a special filming spot location because guess what? I have something technically all new from GMC. It's this truck right here. This is a 2026 GMC Sierra EV. That's not the new part. The new part is this is the Sierra EV AT4. But before we get into this off-roading electrified truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So GMC is doing the business when it comes to a lineup of electrified trucks. They have more electrified trucks than any other brand out there. It all started with the GMC Hummer EV truck, the EV SUV, and then of course we saw finally the Sierra Denali EV. Now GMC is keeping its promise of bringing the other trims. For 2026, not only do you have an AT4 available, but you also have the base entry Elevation. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for an off-road duty truck, but you want to have that electrified component to it, is this going to be truck of the year for 2026? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the design. It looks like a GMC, and it definitely has that style of the AT4, that off-road spec. Up front, you're going to get that familiar LED C-shaped lighting, turn signals and daytime running lamp, some extra lighting, nicely styled, a large area gloss black, but it does give it a storm trooper type of look with our white body. In the lower quadrant here, you're going to have your LED headlights. Everything else is fake though. There's no functional corner air curtains, there's no LED lighting, so that's a big zonk. But let me know what you think about the black with the white when it's here, sitting, nice and new, looks great. As an off-road spec, I don't know how that's gonna look maybe 3 or 5 years from now. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Now, as we come across the nose of this AT4 trim, I like the way they styled the nose portion. The GMC badge, General Motors Truck Company, the red with a little bit of shiny silver around it. This aluminum style trim looks fantastic along the midsection. Of course, you gotta have an AT4 badge. Now, there are these vertical slots which are functional because we have a liquid cooled lithium ion battery pack, and we do have a forward facing camera, but the zonk is there's no washer for it, which is weird because this is an off-road spec. Now, to show its credentials, you do have those bright red AT4 equipped recovery tow hooks, and there are skid plates underneath. But on top of that, you get an extra 2 extra inches of lift with this AT4. So that's gonna give you 10 inches of ground clearance underneath this beast. Plus, you'll notice how they shape the bottom portion here. It gives you a better approach angle. But let me know what you think about the face of this new AT4. Now, as we rise up, I love the aircraft carrier size hood, those GMC unique indentations. There's 3 of them across the hood. And as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire. So these are the AT4 specific wheels, machined aluminum, gloss black, 35-inch tire. It's a Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain tire. It's got the shielding on the sidewall. Actual tire size is 285 on the width, 75 series sidewall, and that's an 18-inch wheel. Let me know what you think about the look of the wheel with the white Stormtrooper style to this thing. Now, as we zoom in, to get the extra 2 inches of lift, you'll see the different springs and shock absorbers there, all 4 corners. And then on the AT4, not only do you have gloss black on the nose, but there's also gloss black around the fender opening. Now, I don't mind it when it's new, but like I said, being an off-road trim, is gloss black really gonna be your friend? Probably not. You also get those GMC side marker lights. Love the GMC style, the way they do the fender openings, all the lighting, looks great. Coming down the side, we got gloss black on the mirror caps, 360-degree cameras, and your LED turn signals. From the side, you can see the overall dimensions of a Sierra EV, no matter what trim it is. This is what you get. We do have our AT4 badge, nicely placed with a little bit of black trim, and then you'll see our fixed running boards, color match on the door handles, and gloss black around the window frame openings. Now, coming towards the back of the cab, GMC has a totally different look than the Chevy Silverado EV. I really prefer this one a lot more. Nice tonneau cover, folding hard tonneau cover, give you that all-weather protection of things you want to store in the bed. And then you do get rear wheel steer on the AT4 to help you get around those tighter bends. Now, coming all the way back, love the way they do the LED lighting, just like up front. You got your corner steps, and then we have that professional grade multi-flex tailgate. Now, before I start flexing, let me show off some of the touches. The GMC badge, that Atomic Fireball red. You have, of course, the AT4 badge. And then working our way down to ground level, they gave you some painted silver. You do have your full tow receiver hookup, and you have some gloss black on the bumpers. Now, to bring the tailgate down, you're gonna go ahead and just hit the left side. That brings down the whole tailgate. This is where you see all of that great dry weather storage because we have the tonneau cover. It's one of those covers that flip, so you keep flipping it to open it up. On the passenger side, you're gonna find all of your hookups. Really nice to have all this accessibility where you could actually power your home if the power goes out during a storm. And then, like I promised, this is a multi-flex tailgate, so you could flex it this way. We could then go ahead, flex it that way. You got your step, open up the tonneau cover, ready to rock and roll. 1, 2, 3. Actually, almost 1, 2, 3. This, and then that. But why don't we go ahead, that was successful. Let's pop the hood and see what the heck is underneath it in this Sierra EV AT4. All right, guys, time to open up that front mounted trunk. I'm gonna do it with the key fob, double tap, and then you hold the button down. You're gonna see 11 cubic feet of space. Now, of course, we have that nice briefcase with all our charging accessories, and you have a home power source, plus 2 cup holders. So you could do what's called front gating. There's tailgating. You could do front gating, also known as nose gating, at your favorite football game. But what do we have power-wise? So you're looking at, this is a max range battery pack. It's good for a lot of reasons, let me tell you. It has 2 motors, 725 horsepower, 775 pound-feet of torque. It uses a 205 kilowatt lithium-ion battery pack. With all of that, you're looking at 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, top speed 112 miles per hour, quarter mile in 12.8 seconds, and this truck weighs 8,800 pounds. But here's the kicker, you ready for this? 478 mile range. And on a DC fast charger, you can charge from 100 miles in just 10 minutes, and you could tow up to 12,300 pounds with this electrified AT4. But why don't we go ahead, let's close it up, which I'm just gonna double tap and hold. You get a little bit of a chime, comes on down. Why don't we turn this on and see it roll? All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 max range. That's the key here, max range GMC Sierra EV AT4. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want a new truck, and I've actually been waiting for this AT4. How much is it? Well, first of all, remember, AT4 trim came out for the first time not that long ago, 2019. Now we're finally seeing it on the Sierra EV. This particular one, the way it's optioned, has an MSRP of $93,000. But let's see what you get for your cha-ching, cha-ching to the door panels. I love the two-tone. You have that what's called Firestorm interior. So it's soft touch black up top. Then you have that gray perforated soft touch finish. Then you have more of the black with the white contrast stitching. We have the Bose sound system. And then a door pocket large enough for 4 Einstein bagels and 2 cappuccinos to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the two-tone, the gray with the black, looking great. You have a place on the side here for a kielbasa sausage, 12 inches of course. Slide on in, you have your massive 16.8-inch portrait-style infotainment system. It's got the full Google suite of all the goodies, the Google Maps. Love the way you have all these great apps. The auto park assist, cameras that are clearly, you can actually count the blades of grass. So they do a great job with the camera technology in these GMCs. So much to see, so much to do. And then, of course, you could get into your charging. All the different scheduling, all those things that you want to do with your charging. And then, of course, we can't forget the drive modes. Nice to have. And look at how the graphics change. My mode is you set it up to your preferences, whatever way you want to do it. Nice to have that. One pedal operation. And then, of course, we got Thor's hammer to get all the power when we go on throttle. Real volume knob. Ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats. You got to touch the screen to make it happen. Recirculation with the little truck there. Toggle switches, it's dual climate, which is nice. Some faux carbon fiber, which is tasteful. A place to put your phone. Slide it open. You have your USB-Cs. You have your 12 volt. Nicely done. And this is wireless charging, 2 cup holders. Open this up, USB-C. And you have enough room in here to put, I would say, 1 My Pet Monster. If you know what My Pet Monster is, you grew up in one of the greatest decades of all time. And if you don't, sucks to suck. Seats, the leather, the AT4 embroidery, the stitching. Look at the way they did the design. You do have piping and full electric assist for the passenger and the driver. The one thing I can't understand is why can't we get a power shade for this panoramic roof? Doesn't open, but the sun just gleams on you all day long. Or get one of those ones where you tap the button and it goes opaque. And if you want it clear, you tap the button again. Why can't they do that? That's a zonk. And then the digital rear view mirror. Nicely done. But why don't you come over here to the business side, because guess what? I have Super Cruise and 11 inches I want to show you. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings for the driver's side. There's all your seat controls, full power, of course. The door is going to make that chime. There's going to be a chime noise because this is an electrified vehicle. It is on and the door is open. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room, especially with the panoramic glass roof. Steering wheel, I love the leather. You got the Super Cruise flat black on all the switch gear. This paddle is for regen braking, and you do have that 1 pedal operation. It does have a power tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you do have your electric shifter for your direct drive transmission. And of course, that 11-inch display. Love the fact that you have so many different ways to view the information being displayed. That to me is really, really nice. I'm glad that they did that. And then you have a 14-inch head-up display, which is freaking large. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna like this AT4 version of the Sierra EV. All right, guys, back seat time. And really, this is where, once again, the Sierra EV flexes its muscle. Because the floor is so low, it gives you so much room. I mean, look at how low the floor is. It's almost totally flat. Now, you do have the nice pockets. I love the Firestorm gray color. Nice pockets. You could put a couple churros in there. And then we have 2 cup holders for 2 bottles of Yoo-Hoo. You could dip your churro in the Yoo-Hoo. 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats, AC vents, a place for, I would say, 6 7-Eleven hot dogs. And you got a home power source and 2 USB-Cs. And don't forget, this has the ability to have that mid-gate area where you could pass things through to get extra space, which is awesome. Plus, you got nicely padded armrests with 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, it's that time. We got tons of horsepower, but we also have tons of weight. So let's go on throttle and see how it goes. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 GMC Sierra EV AT4. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet that I know some of you are thinking is, why not just get a Hummer EV truck over this? That's a very good question, a very good point. Obviously, this comes in under the price of a GMC Hummer EV truck. And second of all, it's not as massive. GMC Hummer EV truck, the EV truck is massive. This is a little bit smaller, not much smaller, but a little bit smaller, obviously weighs a little less. I prefer driving this. I just think it's a better overall ride quality. You'll notice that even though we have those 35-inch off-road tires, you're getting a little extra road noise, but not a ton extra. And obviously, with an electric vehicle, you're gonna be able to hear those extra things because we don't have an internal combustion engine. Whereas the Hummer EV truck is much louder. It's much louder because of the infinity removable roof panels, because of the super large tires and wheels. There's just a lot of noise. This has more of a traditional GMC truck experience. Love the massive infotainment system, easy to get to. The digital gauge cluster has just the right amount of information. And then you have that massive head-up display. But the seats feel great. I love the way they decided to do a black-gray interior in this particular AT4. And you don't notice it right away unless the sun is hitting certain parts of the interior. Now, of course, like I said, I could brake with the paddle on the back of the wheel. So I'm not using either foot, and I'm just using my finger on the paddle, and you could come to a complete stop. You do have one pedal operation. I tend not to use the one pedal operation in regular daily driving. I like to use it more in a high traffic situation. It makes a little bit more sense then. But with the rear wheel steer, it is able to handle very well in tighter areas. Of course, you have all of the safety features. Look at the blind spot cameras. This is great. This is what they should have been doing for years, is by taking those 360-degree cameras and making them into blind spot cameras. Really allows you to have that nice view. Much better than Hyundai and Kia's setup where it's in the dash. I like having it here on the infotainment system screen, especially because it is so large. But it's actually a really comfortable ride. It's not real floaty, which is great. And it's buttoned up. It's a buttoned up driving experience. But when you want to go off-road, you have that ability to. Now, getting into all the different icons on the infotainment system, piece of cake. I'm going to bring up the drive modes, because what I'm going to do is once we get an area where I could come to a complete stop, we're going to take Thor's hammer and we're going to go on throttle to show you just how quick this 725 horsepower truck is. But Super Cruise, so great that it's here. Another system that's very easy to use. You got your wireless charging, tons of storage. So if you like to bring the snacks like I do, you got plenty of snack storage in here, no matter what your particular style of snack is. But being able, like I said, digital gauge cluster, you could bring up the map. I'll have the map up while we're doing the on throttle once we get to that point. Of course, you got your regen braking. It really has a great amount of range to this, and I think this has been the thing that a lot of people have been waiting for is that range that's close to 500 miles. I mean, that's pretty stupendous, especially in this AT4 truck. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. On the brakes. You don't get a lot of nosedive. You don't get a lot of, you know, where the nose is going towards the sky. I'm gonna go ahead and come to a stop. Nobody's behind us. And we're gonna activate this guy right here. Hopefully this person moves very quickly. You get all the cool sound effects and all that. And then basically we're gonna go on throttle once we get a little bit of room here. Like the way it holds it. On throttle, here we go. So you're getting a lot of those theatrics, right? You're getting that theatrical experience to bring some unique driving excitement. And that to me is where GM period, whether it's a Chevy Silverado EV, whether it's this particular vehicle, the Hummer, it kind of helps create some personality with the EV. Now, with the rear wheel steer, U-turns are a freaking snap. I mean, look at this. Piece of cake, man. Piece of cake. You ready? On throttle, here we go. With it being a battery electric vehicle, it does have that lower center of gravity. That's another reason why you're not noticing all this roll and pitch and everything, is because of that lower center of gravity. And then to shut that off, you just tap the hammer again and we're back in normal mode. Of course, we have our different modes, the off-road, the terrain, the tow, the haul as well. But this thing has plenty of get up and go, that's for sure. Watch this. On throttle, even in normal mode. So that's nice as well. And if you notice, you're not hearing a lot of extra road noise. It's there, but it's not in your face, which I really, really like, especially if you're gonna be doing a lot of driving on the asphalt jungle. But getting out onto the highway, we do have Super Cruise, all that hands-free driving experience, and that really allows you to kind of take the stress out of driving. It really allows you to have that experience while you're doing your daily commute, which is nice. But just really a great system when it comes to what you're seeing in a lot of these vehicles. And what's great about the Super Cruise, it's easy to activate, it's easy to turn off. It just makes sense. It's a great system that allows you to really be able to take a lot of the stressors out of driving, which is great. Like I said, these corner cameras, man. I mean, that's the left lane. I'm in the right lane. That's the left lane. That's not even the middle lane. Just to show you how good of a camera it is. Really, really nice. But I love the fact that you can, at any time, go into your different modes. You have all of your different driving experiences. And the fact that you have a unique terrain mode, which is great, which I have to reduce speed, of course, to go into terrain mode. But it's nice to have these different modes, especially with this being an AT4. But man, it shows in the driving experience how GM has put so much effort into their electrified vehicles. The cameras are king, man. The clarity, the size of it, really fantastic. Of course, you have the other information you could scroll through, your adaptive cruise settings. You could go simplistic on the information. Whatever you want, you could have with your GMC Sierra EV AT4. And then you got that killer range with the max battery range setup. And yes, you could charge this on a Tesla supercharger, so you don't have to worry about that either. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of what this GMC Sierra EV AT4 is bringing. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been an electrifying day at our special filming spot location. We definitely got to thank everybody at GMC for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Now let me know what you think. For the price, with all the goodies, are you thinking that this is truck of the year for 2026? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Gotta give it up to Stephen Flood. He's working his magic as always. So thank you, Stephen, for doing the tricks. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.